Once upon a time, a young man used to walk along the foreshore. The place was very special to him, and he came very often to stare at the horizon, imagining all sorts of adventures. The sea held a certain charm over him, calm, but at the same time powerful. And he always wondered what secrets lay hidden within itself. But despite his attraction to that element, he had never put his head underwater. He was too afraid. That day was very peaceful, and the young man had no idea his life was about to change forever. The young man was sitting on the beach, lost in the rhythmic sound of waves crashing ashore, when suddenly he heard a voice whispering,
"Hey you! Come here!"
He looked around, but no one else was on the beach. He was completely alone. Puzzled, at first the boy thought he had imagined it, but again he heard that sound.
"Young boy, follow me."
This time, he rose to his feet to find the source of the voice. More and more intrigued by what was happening, he started to walk.
"This way!"
One step, one more.
"Here you are!"
That whisper was coming right from under the sand. He started digging with his hands, when at last he discovered a seashell. It looked like a very common one, despite its large size. Unexpectedly, when he blew on it, he was thrown backward and passed out. When he opened his eyes, a strange sight welcomed him. It was the bottom of the sea.
Wait, where am I? It can be I can breathe underwater? What's happening?
Suddenly, the young man heard another voice.
Hey, what is voice? Get off my head!
Who are you? I don't understand. I was on the beach when I found a seashell, and when I touched it, I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I found myself here. Where am I?
Oh, I think we have a problem. I am a painting COMBER, and that's my territory. It looks like you're part of me now.
The young man was utterly confused.
What are you saying? Part of you? Have I become a fish?
Somehow, yes. Now we share the same body. Very interesting. I saw a whole story about the voice of the sea. Or just fantastic.
Voice of the sea?
Asked the boy.
Yes, we are beings living in chess, able to connect a soul to another, making them share the same body. What about though? We need to find another voice soon so that you can return to your body. If we do not succeed, your human body will no longer be able to provide for its needs and you will die.
The young man, seized with terror, exclaimed,
But how are we going to manage? The sea is so vast, I'm screwed.
Oh, you don't have to worry, my new friend. As I told you before, that's my territory. I think I have some acquaintances around here.
Acquaintances? Are your sea creatures able to talk?
Yes, of course, but it's not in the way you think. Some of us make sounds using their swim bladers, others with their teeth. Others even use smells and colors to communicate. If you concentrate a little, you can hear a huge variety of sounds down here. Take a moment and listen.
The boy followed the advice of the fish. For the first time in his entire life, he was listening to underwater sounds, and he was amazed by all the variations he heard. Suddenly, the noise of a motorboat broke the special moment. It was defeating, and the body of his new friend started to vibrate. That was painful.
Hurry, let's go! If the boat goes too fast, the vibration can hurt us.
Boy and fish escaped as far as possible from the destructive device. Swimming for the first time was a bit strange, but even though the boy was in the body of a fish, he felt as if he had always been able to move its fins. After a while, he got used to his aquatic life and his new friend.
Tell me, what do members of your species look like?
Wait, have you never seen us? We are very common in the Mediterranean Sea, but we also live in the eastern part of the Atlantic Ocean and even the Black Sea.
To tell you the truth, I don't know anything about the sea. I've always dreamed of discovering this fascinating world, but I'm afraid to meet terrible creatures here.
Laughed the painted comber.
That's weird. Here, all the cultures fear you humans. Even the beagles and white sharks are suspicious of you. Very well, I will introduce you to my fellows, so you will see how I look like, or better, how we look like. That we will go in search of the voice, okay? You will see that we are usually quite lonely and territorial. We don't like to have containers around. Well, except in rare occasions.
The two friends set off, but the boy remained thoughtful and silent. Then he broke the silence.
I don't understand. Why do you fear humans? You're much more agile and faster than us in the water. Catching you seems quite hard.
My young friend, this is true, but unfortunately your devices of mass destruction are killing millions of us every day. Many of you believe we have no soul, and we are unable to feel any pain. Maybe because of our inscrutable expression. Therefore, picking us up as if we were just common stones.
While talking, the painted comber flew over a magnificent Posidonia meadow. In that habitat, many organisms could find refuge, including this pipefish, completely dependent on this plant for its survival, since it looks like a dead leaf itself. Our fish was heading towards a rocky area, and once it reached the reef, it stopped. The boy said,
What are you doing? Why did we stop?
Just wait and you will see. I will show you a member of my species. I have just entered its territory. As we are territorial, we need to cautiously inspect each intruder.
and suddenly another individual appeared. The boy was watching that painted comber very carefully. Its mantle was covered in brown stripes. The back of its dorsal fin was yellow. For his human standards, he estimated a length of approximately 20 centimeters. The largest individuals can reach 30 centimeters. The peculiar and colorful pattern adorning its head resembles ancient writings. And that's where the specific epithet scriba comes from. The new individual was staring at our friends. Was it suspecting something? It kept still, moving only its pectoral fins to remain stationary. A common behavior, easily observable in the company of octopuses because of their curious nature. After a moment spent staring at each other, our painted comber spoke.
Okay, we have seen enough. Time to go, otherwise it will end up attacking us.
Hey, wait! I have plenty of questions. Is it male or female?
The painted comber swam along the reef.
We are all the same. There are no males and females. We are synchronous hermaphrodites.
Oh, what does that mean?
Well, we are male and female at the same time. This means that when the breeding season arrives, from April to September, we can mate with any sexually mature individual.
Ah, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
How is that weird? Since we have no problem finding a mate, then we just have to release the eggs and sperm, sometimes creating white clouds like these. There can be thousands of hanging eggs.
But if you produce so many eggs, why are there so few of you?
Well, my young friend, it's because eggs are food for everyone, even for our prey. They are very rich in nutrients and, of course, defenseless. Great results with minimal effort.
Time was passing by quickly, and the water was beginning to get darker, with neither of them caring about their main quest yet. Twilight brought along the young boy's fears, and he felt as if part of his mind was already fading away.
I'm starting to feel strange, like my memories are leaving. We must hurry to find the voice of the sea, or it will be over for me.
The painted comber retorted,
I'm sorry, but it's far too dangerous. Night is coming and I'm not able to see in the dark. When the sun goes down, predators take the lead. Congers, octopuses, squid and many others. Better take shelters in the hole and wait for the morning.
The night passed quietly, and finally the rays of sun shone once again on the water. All the fish were waking up, ready to start a new day. A strange noise woke the boy. What was it? Watching through his friend's eyes, he saw a thorny creature close by, apparently motionless.
Where is it? I have already seen it on the surface before.
Ha! That's a sea urchin. There are big eaters of algae and plants. Grazing them, they prevent them from invading the whole area. But sometimes they are too voracious.
Wow! I thought they was just there to make children cry for walking barefoot in the water.
The two friends resumed their research. They swam without interruption. Crossing different landscapes, and encountering a great variety of marine creatures. The boy marveled at the magnificent school of dreamfish passing in front of him. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough time to stop and admire the animals. Slightly worried, the painted comber suggested,
It's getting far more difficult than I expected. Since we still have time, we better ask the elders for advice. This way!
Who are they?
asked the boy.
You will see when we get there. Those are ancient creatures that can be very dangerous for us fish, because they are giant predators who do not share their knowledge so easily. We will have to persevere and hope we don't get eaten.
Somewhat anxiously, the painted comber continued to swim.
Okay, here we are. Be vigilant.
They arrived in front of a large boulder, which almost reached the water's surface. They already felt like they were being watched. Moving to the other side of the rocky ridge, 3 male ropers were waiting for them, as if they already knew our 2 protagonists were about to come. They were the elders, the largest of their species. They ultimately achieved male status after spending 10 years as females. The painted comber recklessly approached them to communicate. However, they didn't seem to care about them at all, and even tried to avoid them,
They don't seem hungry.
whispered the painted comber.
Let's try again.
Many elders were present, hidden between the rocks. But as the fish tried to approach them, they continued to ignore it.
Why don't we act like them?
The boy proposed.
Maybe they'll come to us?
Very good idea.
The painted comber landed on a rock and waited for a few minutes. Suddenly, a big grouper, which had been inspecting our protagonists since their arrival, slowly approached them. It was really big. Did it come to eat our friends or to talk? The painted comber was on the alert, with his muzzle ready to shoot, even though he knew the elders were capable of great accelerations. Luckily, he had come to share his knowledge. The 2 fish looked into each other's eyes. It took a mere glimpse to them to convey the information. But in the head of the young man, the conversation occurred much slowly.
What are you doing in the territory of the elders? Souls sharing the same body.
Thundered the big grouper.
How dare you disturb our tranquility?
Oh, mighty elder, we are looking for the voice of the sea, but we don't have any indication about its origin.
Ah, the voice of the sea. Many have looked for it, but only few have been able to find it. Accomplish your noble quest. You will have to let yourself be guided by your heart and your passion. Enjoy the marvels that life has to offer.
But how do you expect me to enjoy this moment?
The boy said.
If I don't find the voice and reconnect to my human body soon, I will die.
Herein lies the difficulty of the matter, impetuous human. During your lifetime, forces you will find too hard to overcome will always seek to move you away from the voice. The truth is there. Follow your heart, and you will find the voice.
Then the elder elegantly turned and calmly returned to its abode. The 2 puzzled friends didn't know where to start. They began to look around to find out what life had to offer them, as the Old One had suggested. Above them, a magnificent school of 2 bendy sea breams swam peacefully. The boy had never seen one of those fish and wanted to join them. The fish were all swimming in the same direction, leaving space for the painted comber to fit into the school. Below, another painted comber was motionless on the sand. our protagonist fish proposed.
Oh, that's interesting. This is a thing you won't regret.
Disappointed, the boy exclaimed.
Wait, why do you want to leave the school to join the patent comber standing still on the sand? It's boring.
Trust me.
Once on the bottom, the painted comber was still motionless. But after a while, it sprang forward with its mouth wide open.
Did you see it? This is how we hunt. Sometimes we ambush our prey behind rocks or Posidonia leaves. We particularly like crustaceans, but we also won't say no to small fish such as a terrine.
Whoa, that's impressive. You usually seem so quiet.
I will also show you one of my biggest passions.
The painted comber led the boy across the rocks until they reached an octopus.
We love spending long hours by these animals. They are very interesting, and if we are lucky, we can join their meal. We don't even have to worry about looking for a prey. Fantastic, isn't it?
In that very moment,
Watch out!
the boy shouted. A human was swimming towards them,
Don't worry,
said the painted comber.
I know that guy. He's now part of the ecosystem. He spends a lot of time underwater. I think he's trying to understand marine life, but in my opinion, he still has a lot of work to do.
The human stopped, and it seemed something had captured his attention.
What's he looking at?
The two friends headed to the source of his interest. And when they reached the bottom, they couldn't believe their eyes. The voice of the sea was right there, lying in a field of sponges, kissed by a ray of light, in what was a decidedly magical and peaceful setting. Excited, the boy and the painted comber approached the shell.
It's wholly quiet.
Dear voice, can you please make me go back to my body?
No answer. The boy was disappointed and frustrated. He was so sure he had achieved his goal. He had traveled all around the sea to find the voice, but now it appeared all his efforts had been for nothing. When suddenly, a comber above the shell exclaimed,
I heard you, my young friend.
But you aren't inside the shell?
No, I am in all things. Whoever opens their heart to the marvels of life can see me. Today, despite your fears, you were able to open up and be amazed. I brought you to the shell on the beach. I was there when you met the dream fish. I was also there with the sea breams and the octopus. And it was again me who spoke to you through the elders. I have even led you to this place thanks to the freediver. I believe you have learned a lot today. Listen to your heart. Always be aware of what life presents to you, and your path will be fulfilled and serene. Now, your time has come. Farewell, young friend.
The young man woke up on the beach. Was it all a dream? He looked to his right hand and saw the shell. No, it was real. now that he had had a taste of the beauty of the sea, he wanted to discover more, share these wonders with his loved ones, and of course, meet again his fish friend. The painted comber found himself alone again, and curiously felt that he actually missed the company of the young human friend. They had been separated too quickly. However, his heart was filled with a new hope. That day, even the suspicious and lonely painted comber had learned something. Despite everything humans did to his fellows, nonetheless they had the potential to truly have a big heart. Perhaps in time, by opening up more to the wonders of nature, they shall come to their senses. All you have to do is follow the voice of the sea.